petando en ese like I mean, he's not. Yeah, I think I've got that 11 points. Do you like have a little, or do you just you have two? You have two like. Actually, the one Tanner and I got the same. Not everyone can do it. We had like 12 kids. Me
The screen the whole time pretty much is going to be
never
the agenda and the PowerPoint.
Players and everything.
We can give it a couple tries. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to
work on the essentials.
let's go with that.
We want to have it. I know Boom. Oh yeah. Last night was
All right, everyone, welcome to the April monthly meeting. This is my first of many, and I'm very excited to get started. So we have a few guests with us today from Big Brothers Big Sisters. We have Eric and Annette, and they're going to talk about our ongoing relationship with them, the great success stories we've had, and ways for us to stay involved in the future. So without further ado.
Me in front of the room, you see my buttons all the way up to the top. I look like Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So, but I'm not going to do the dance for you. But if you sign up, I will do the dance all the way back to the office. So, thank you guys, man. It's really great being back here in front of our fellows. And last time we came, I was met with a lot of enthusiasm. But more importantly than that, I was met by some folks who were down for the cause, so to speak. And the cause was that we had a mission over at Big Brothers Big Sisters. And as you can see, this is not some fancy models that we found. These are actually participants in our program who have gone the extra mile. But guess what? You actually have some of those participants here amongst you. And I got Joe Russ, your man Joe. He stepped up to the cause. And Sarah Michaels in here. Matter of fact, just stand up if you're a big brother or a big sister. Look at that. Look at that. I'm just gonna have you. If you can't just stay standing, I'm just gonna have you introduce yourself. How long you been matched, and what's been great about it, real quick.
Kevin
All right,
Stewart.
man, that's awesome, man. Go ahead.
Kevin Stewart, my little is London Denard Hamilton Clark, his full name, and been matched with him since last January. So already had our 1-year anniversary, which was great. Dave and Buster is like all you could play like for the full afternoon. So pretty awesome.
So y'all trying to clown them, but we have an anniversary party. We have a good time at those anniversary parties, man. We turn up, no alcohol.
We do.
Stuff like
Lots
that.
of
Just
juice.
straight milk and cookies, man. Thank you.
I've been a part of the program since September. My little's 9 years old. His name's Striker. And he plays soccer. He's actually a striker, so that's cool. It's been an awesome eye-opening experience. I've never really taken care of a kid for more than 15 minutes before. So now I do like 4 hours a month, 3 hours a month. So big step up. But
Even an amateur can be a pro, man. I'm telling you.
Doesn't take much.
Been matched with my little since last December. So we had our Dave and Buster's thing. Casey and I played some go-kart games, stuff like that together.
Yeah, we battled. We actually won the crane game like 5 times in a row. It's amazing.
Sarah. My little's name is Julia. She is 13. Favorite memory. We've been matched for 9 months. We haven't had the party quite yet. You did send us to the Indy Fuel game, front row. My little thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And then our favorite memory was she'd never gone mini golfing, and she just thought that was so much fun. I mean, we took forever, and no one was behind us, thank goodness. But it was a great memory.
Thank you so much.
I'm Michael. My little name is Liam. He's a freshman this year in high school, so that's pretty fun. But he's also a huge video game, robotics. I spent 6 hours with him on yesterday playing Magic the Gathering. It's pretty awesome.
What a bad match.
Yeah, I built a deck with him. Yeah,
Like, nice testimony.
I'm Joe. My little is Kobe. We've been together for about a year and a half.
And he's playing his last game on Wednesday. Awesome.
Yeah. Kobe is not that good at basketball, actually. That's okay. That's my math specialist, so that's been very helpful in the process, which is a great thing about Big Brothers Big Sisters too, which you already plugging. But there's a lot of support along the way, a lot of help to kind of guide you along the process on what you can do to get better big, ask the right questions, how to have a right relationship with the parents, and all that good stuff. Yeah, Kobe and I had a good time. I think probably our favorite memories from the batting cages. Kobe really liked that, compared to baseball and things like that. So, yeah.
That's the reason why Joe's not scholars.
We should do it.
Because of COVID. Thank you guys, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So again, my name is Eric Saunders. I'm the Volunteer Outreach and Engagement Coordinator. Been around the block for about 8 years. Thank you. I don't look like I've been anywhere for 8 years. Other than elementary school. That's awkward. Never mind. So, wanted to tell you a little bit about. Oh, wait a minute. Did you plug me? Ned, I need you. Man,
I just don't think the PowerPoint's pulled up back.
Okay.
Oh, that's the background. It's the same thing.
Okay. Okay, cool. And so, a couple of the bigs here will tell you, just working with the kid, I'm sure you didn't know what to expect. But if you just look around, you know that, childhood should be a great time. Should be out having fun, climbing trees, doing safe stuff like that. Wonder, filled with obstacles, but, we want to see kids reach their potential. And I look at you guys and I see that's what you're trying to do with yourselves. A couple of things that kind of stand in the way of a lot of kids, reaching their full potential is that they're dealing with being impacted by poverty. Dealing with not having that push from family, dealing with struggle, dealing with competency. And so what does that lead to? That leads to, oh man, I'm not graduating from high school. At least I'm not even thinking about college. So how can that child's life, get to where it needs to be if they don't have somebody to help them get over those challenges? So Big Brothers, Big Sisters, again, we have a mission. And if I was to point this picture out to you, you would probably just think there's one little brother in that photo. What if I told you that there's two little brothers in that photo? The gentleman whose arm you can see, his name is Michael James. Started off as a little brother in our program. Now he's a big brother in our program, and he actually was voted as Big Brother of the Year for our agency and for our state. And hopefully he'll become Big Brother of the entire nation, Big Brother of the Year for the entire nation, straight out of Naptown. So, but he's doing really, doing great things, but he's helping his little brother. And like he was helping, to come over some of these disadvantages because, again, we don't believe that dreams should be destroyed. Our mission is simple. It is that we provide children facing adversity with strong and enduring, professionally supported one-to-one relationships that help change their lives for the better forever. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been around for over 100 years, working with members of our community, partnering with parents, partnering with different organizations such as yourselves, because we want to see those kids have those higher aspirations, educational success, even though those things seem awfully easy, but you got to ask yourself, why do things keep happening? And so with our program, you have this opportunity and it shows, and you can see around you, nobody stood up and started crying about how horrible their match was. In fact, they just talked about how much fun they're even able to have as an adult. Wait a minute, are you crying?
Yeah.
So what I just wanted to show you guys today was some of the things that we want you to be aware of about our program, because there's a lot of people saying, hey, this kid needs a mentor. This kid needs a mentor. We'll say, well, who should mentor him? Well, somebody should mentor him. We'll say, well, there's no program called somebody. But there is a program called Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and this is what we did. In 2014 and 15, we were able to serve 1,147 matches. And so our matches are big brother, a little brother, big sister, a little sister. We also have what we call big couples. We were able to make 350 brand new matches, which was our goal, and we hit that. And we did that in Marion County, Hamilton County, and Johnson County. That's where our kids come out of. As you can see, the majority come out of Marion County. Here's the breakdown of our kids. A lot of times people think, you know, hey man, who are you dealing with? Are they juveniles? Are they at risk? Are they delinquents? I said, hey, let's try this one. They're people. All right, let's get off the labels a little bit. A lot of our kids come from, single parent households, but most of the time there's a matriarch in the home. But yes, we do have kids who have two parents and live with those two parents as well. So if you want to know how the kids come to our program, they come between ages 8 to 14. That's when we enroll them, but they can stay into the program until the age of 18. We're actually having a graduation program for our graduating littles. Last year, we graduated the most littles in our program that I've seen since I've been here, and that was 44 matches. Some of those matches stay together for as long as, as they like. So a little bit more, 40% are impacted by incarceration. 87% are on free or reduced lunch, okay? But they're referred by parents, 71%, some by therapists, and just members of the community. So I've even had kids refer themselves. It's interesting. We got a call one time, a kid called in, he said, man, please match me up with a big brother. My mother's a woman, my sister's a woman, even my dog's a woman. There's too many ladies. Somebody needs to show me how to shoot a basketball. So, and that's awkward because women can shoot basketball. We just had the championship last week. UConn, that's just ridiculous. I think they need to be playing like in the NBA right now. So our bigs are just like you. It's 50, 40, 55, 45 split. So yes, we got more ladies stepping up to the plate, knocking it out the park, no problem. We have 54 big couples. And what that means is that you and your spouse, anybody married? Awkward. Me too, man. I'm here with you, buddy. I'm here with you. I'm on curfew right now. So you know all about that. All right. Yeah. I'm pretty sure y'all done asked him to step out and have a drink. You're like, nah, man, I can't, man. Good, but look, I'm with you, man. But I have to sit out the door. But so our big couples, pretty much you and your wife, we can match you up with a little brother or a little sister in our program. Okay, preferably a little brother in our program because we have a lot of young little brothers waiting. Here's the breakdown. So this is a pretty youthful group, man. I get some people tell me that I'm too old. I say, no, you're never too old. We're going to put that in our numbers. We want you to be a part of our program. Even though we serve 3 counties, we have bigs coming from surrounding counties as well. And the reason why that is because when we match you, if you live in Carmel, we're not going to match you with a kid all the way in Greenwood. Okay, nobody has time for that. So we'll match you with someone relatively close to you, no more than 20 minutes, okay? A 20-minute commute, but really try to keep it within those confines. We wanted you to see this because we don't have you come to the program so we can bust your pockets. So these guys mentioned that they all went to an anniversary party. I don't think you guys didn't have to pay anything but gas money to get there. So we got that all covered. We get contributions that help us get tickets to ball games, go see the Indians, to go see the Fuel. That was an awesome time. I was there. You didn't say hi. I waved at you. It's cool. I'm not creepy at all. And so we definitely wanted people to see that. So we definitely work to partner. So, again, we don't want you spending tons of money. We want to keep it low cost, no cost, focusing on building the relationship. And thanks to some of our partners, we're able to provide some of those great experiences for those littles to, be able to be front row at a game, and just you being there and seeing how much that means to them, that's where you start to feel your life impacted because you're the catalyst for making that happen. We wanted to center your attention on that 74.26 number, and that is our retention number. It used to be as low as like in the low 50s, kind of. And then your boy Eric Saunders came along and said, let me go ahead and pump this up a little bit. Because, and then in my line, this right here, this really is all about keeping our matches together. That's what it comes down to. Okay, we asked for a 12-month commitment. Okay, we don't want to see matches close within that first 12 months. It can really jeopardize, how that kid feels about you, how that kid starts to feel about people. But we feel like 12 months is a good time for you really to get to know each other and have a relationship and start to build a friendship. So that number is very important to us. It's 74 now. I think it's actually 79 in the office right now. So we're actually leading the nation in that number. Okay, so as you can see, a lot of our kids come in, they're doing very well. We record that. We want to see them improving. But again, there's a stigma that, hey, kids are doing the worst. A lot of kids come to the program already making good grades, but they might have a bad attitude, or they might not like to talk to people. It's other situations to where they're being impacted, by the volunteers that come into their lives. And I don't know everybody's situation with your little, but again, the fact that you stood up and with smiles on your face says that you guys are having a great time with your match. I'll just tell you guys 2 quick stories. This is my good friend Gene. I recruited him personally. He signed up. He's from out of New York. Great guy. He's busy, but he'll never tell you that he's busy. Married with 2 kids, and he said, "Man, let's match me up with a kid who has a similar kind of roots, man." And so we found Alex. Alex came in, knucklehead, class clown, wouldn't listen to his mama, wouldn't listen to his teacher. But when Gene came along, we was able to match these guys up, and he gave it to him straight from the beginning. He said, "Man, we can have fun. We can go here. We can go to football games, Colts games, no problem. But you got to take care of your academics. You got to take care of your health," because he was dealing with sickle cell. "And you got to, respect your mom, man." And so he just didn't tell him that, but I was their case manager. So every time I talked to him, it was like, "Hey, we were able to do this. We were able to go here. Alex made the basketball team. Alex is improving. Alex is having a good time." Alex did get in trouble, but he learned from it. So you actually started, I just feel like I grew up with Alex a little bit. And so where I really saw this match come together, and this is what just sold me on being a part of this program, is when Alex had pretty much a near-death experience with his sickle cell, and was hospitalized in a coma for at least about a month and a half. And during that time, I found out that Eugene's mother had passed away while Alex was in the hospital in the coma. And so I went to go visit Alex, see how he was doing and things like that. And he finally came up and woke up. And one of the first things he said to me was, "I checked on my big brother last night to make sure he was okay." And it behooved me, because here this kid was fighting for his life, telling me that when he had his health together, let me just call my big brother to make sure he's doing all right with the loss of his mom. And that let me know, again, we're not, like I said, we're not dealing with just at-risk. We're not dealing with juveniles. We're dealing with people, compassionate people, And so now this young man is a graduate of high school. He's actually about to be a junior in college down at Indiana State University. Graduated, and he's doing his thing. He's actually in this video that's about to go viral on April the 16th. I kid you not. Down at Indiana State. I have a friend. He's a rap artist, and a positive rap artist who wants to see Indianapolis do better. And so Alex is actually going to be in that video, because one of the things I told him, I said, "Man, you need to go into entertainment and go into business." He's doing both. David, Francis, and Maureen here. Now, we matched them up. As you can see, that's a big couple, okay? When we got them together back in 2006, it was good. They kicked it off, had a lot of great times, came to our anniversary parties and things like that. Worked together and make sure, Francis was all about her academics. So her big couple made sure that she was always doing her work. And so the interesting thing about that was Francis and her family were dealing with bouts of homelessness, okay? Now, that seemed like some very serious stuff. It is, of course. But we didn't leave them. We didn't just throw them on out, but we worked with them to help find some of those resources. And their big couple, they never bailed on them. They always, was there to lend a helping hand. It was frustrating at times, but they stuck in there and persevered with this little, because, what kind of message does that say to somebody that you care about? When the going gets tough, I got to get up out of here when I'm not even going through it. But they stuck with it. And as a result of that friendship, as a result of that bond, she's now a graduate of high school. She's down at Indiana University. And throughout all that adversity, she came out of school with a 3.8 GPA. Look, I know some of us didn't get a 3.8. You know, I take my 3.3. You know, it's cool, but I didn't have to go through that. And I was just really, you know, it was a really great experience. This gentleman to the far left, his name is John. He's their match support specialist. Just like Annette, man. We know John personally. He's not here in the office anymore, but he's going on to different places. I don't want to make it sound like heaven, but he's up in Detroit with his family, to be clear. But he's stuck with him, you know, and that's what we do as match support specialists. After going through all that, you daggone right, we're going to watch this girl walk across the stage. And he was there to do that for her. So we want to see more successful matches like those. I see some that are brewing up right now, and that's cool. But our challenge right now is that we have a demand for more volunteers. Right now, we're actually, as you can see, everything in yellow, that's where we have more than 25 kids waiting, okay? So there's a lot on the east side, some immediate northwest, and immediately south, okay? So we need volunteers. It's really that simple. There's folks who want to make an impact and change somebody else's life. It's a great opportunity. The mentors that are in our program, we just don't call them mentors, we call them bigs. It has nothing to do with your weight, trust me. And like, the only reason I say that is because I got in trouble one time. I was like, hey, miss, would you like to be a big? What you trying to say? I'm just saying, I just want you to volunteer, that's all. That's what we call them. But it is a life-changing opportunity. As some of our bigs will tell you. Matter of fact, I was a big brother in the program also. And it's really easy for me to stand up here, ask you guys to volunteer, because I'm not going to ask anybody to do something that I'm not going to do myself. So I got credibility. But it's rewarding. And, you know, it's very flexible. You know, we don't tell you where to go or when to go. We just say go and have fun. If you like to come and join us for the anniversary parties, come on out. We're going to have a blast. There's benefits to joining our program. As Joe said before, you get coaching, you get training. We partner with schools, so you can visit your little at school if you like. We get discounts. We have agency activities. In fact, wait a minute, I'll get to that. We do community service, and on the connection level, we have big socials, and we do networking. So you can put it on your calendar for April the 27th, because we're going to be at Sun King Brewery, and we're going to be having our big social. All right, I don't know, I can't advocate like come drink a beer or something like that. But if you would like to come out and meet some of our volunteers, some of our bigs, it's a great opportunity. It's, you know, we're grown, and so you can just come. Wait a minute, is everybody over 21 for us? All right. I want to come back, you know, so I want to make sure I'm doing everything right. So those are the type of things that we do to keep folks engaged. What it takes is, again, just spending 46 hours a month. We ask for a 12-month commitment. You get training opportunities to help you cultivate your match from the beginning and throughout the process. You participate in agency events. We do community activities together. And then you, again, like I said, you get opportunity to make a real difference. And it's really fun to actually see that start to happen. What does it take? Nick, if you could, a simple application. I don't know if you guys remember this from the last time, but I got some information going around. And I would love, you know, if you guys are interested, this is a great way to get involved. You fill out an inquiry form. It doesn't guarantee that you are going to become a big brother or big sister. It just says, hey, let's get this party started and we can move forward. We ask you to provide 3 references. We're going to do a background check, okay? All right. Some of y'all, man, look like y'all was disappointed about that background check. Don't give him one. I'm just joking, man. Participate in an in-person interview, okay? Participate in a mentor training session, takes 2 hours, and attend a match introduction at the home of your little, okay? It's not like you're just gonna show up by yourself. Your match support specialist will be there waiting for you, all right? But if there's, you know, if you feel like this is not the time for you, but some of y'all might be balling like that, you know, go ahead and make a donation. We have different opportunities that really help us get some of our goals accomplished. You can refer us to some of your friends, spread the word, and this may be planned to be a big in the future. Like I was telling you guys earlier, what we're currently doing right now I guess I'll need to hold the poster up. But we're in our 100 Men in 50 Days campaign. Ladies, does this mean that we don't want you? Absolutely not. As you can see, you're already leading the way, but we're trying to get some of those little brothers off of our wait list. Okay. We partnered with the Indianapolis Indians, so they've shown our support. So I'm out here definitely, hitting the ground, just trying to find volunteers. And so, again, our campaign goes to May the 2nd, and we're really excited about it. Something we've never done before. Like I said, partnered with the Indianapolis Indians. A good friend of mine, his name is Courtney Roby, won the Super Bowl championship with New Orleans Saints. He's our champion for this campaign, and so a lot of guys are getting on board just to see us hit this goal of 100 by May the 2nd. And so I think we're at about 60 right now. And so we got about 3 or 4 weeks. And so I think we can hit it. We might be able to hit it tonight. So it all depends. So if you guys, just consider that. I would just like to thank you just for giving us some time. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. I hope that you're not just entertained, but I really hope that you're inspired to just come help join us in this mission. As you can see, some of your colleagues have already made it possible. I would love for you guys to come over and be a big and help make our mission possible as well. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. What's up? Okay.
And I have Eric's contact information, so if anyone has any questions, you can get them to me afterwards, and I can forward them on to you. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming.
I can stick around in the back real quick. If anybody wants to bring their inquiry form to me, I can take that with me today. And my supervisor would love me fast. So.
Thank you.
All right, Kevin's got a quick check-in for us. Let me. All right, one more presentation, guys. Stick with me. I'll keep this quick. So this partially cut off presentation is about what I learned during my workshop, what I used for my certification money, which was the Alt MBA. And quick background on that, the Alt MBA is a 4-week intensive sprint workshop designed by this guy, Seth Godin. Some of you might know him from TED Talk, some of the books he's written, like Lynchpin. And he's kind of a marketing and thought leader. And I was drawn to it because I read his blog and introduced to me that way. But what is it all about? It's about creating change agents for the future, people within their organizations that are trying to push their organizations forward or push themselves forward. My approach, given that I'm a second-year fellow and I'm going to be looking for a new job, new role, was to really assess what I want to get out of my career and what I'm passionate about. So this is only a small snapshot of some of the stuff you learn in the course, but it all is centered around the theme of what do you do with an idea? We're all very creative people in here, and if you're like me, you might have a notebook where you kind of jot down business ideas all the time, but nothing usually comes of them, especially with me. They usually just sit in that notebook and you're just waiting for the day, waiting for the perfect moment. So what do you do with that idea so that it actually happens? This might be what your notebook looks like if you take it in a very literal way. So step 1, start with why. This may be a little redundant for the Seth Morales people that saw the last BLM. He mentioned this, but the point is, when you are talking about your project or your idea, you don't want to say what it is. You want to say why you do it. Why are you passionate about it? What is the cause you're trying to make the change? The second layer is the how. What action do you plan to take to bring that why about? The what is really just a result. It's just the outcome of what happens. and to kind of explain how you should apply this to your projects and your ideas, to do an example. So Patagonia, a brand that many of us are familiar with, they're much more than just a clothing company. They have a mission, an ethos, much more of a persona about them. And because of that, they have a good following. People buy their stuff not just because it's good quality gear, but because they believe in the mission they're trying to create. So how do they do that? Well, I'm going to show you how they probably don't pitch themselves. And that's by starting with what? On the surface, we create technical clothing for outdoorsmen. How do we do it? We produce our clothes in environmentally sustainable ways. Why do we do it? We believe that we can positively impact the environmental crisis. It's okay. At least you know they have a mission and a purpose. This is a better way, I think, to pitch Patagonia. We believe that it's everyone's responsibility to address the environmental crisis. We do that by creating beautiful products that are produced in sustainable ways. We just happen to make outdoor clothing. Anyone want to buy a jacket? So you can see there is a difference in the sequence of how you talk about your project or your idea. It's not enough to just say, oh yeah, I'm a clothing salesman. You want to buy something? You really have to connect emotionally with people. People buy why you do something, not what you do. So step 2, after you've established your why of your idea or your project, I want you to set a constraint. And not just a basic constraint that it's going to look like this and this is the timeline, but a constraint that's going to propel you forward and give you leverage. And one way to do that, God damn it, Tyler.
Sorry.
Hold on to your flyers. One way to do that is to ask a propelling question. And a propelling question is one that has both a bold constraint, a bold ambition, and a significant constraint linked together. And as an example, I'd like to share one propelling question that I recently discovered. So this is hot off the press, breaking news about what Kevin's doing in the future. How can Kevin apply to architectural grad school by May 1st? 3 weeks, full portfolio of work to be made, starting from ground zero, but we're going to go for it.
You can do it.
I decided Saturday night, yesterday, I started walking around, I started sketching. So this is like the Indiana Landmarks Center in Old Northside. Some of you drive down there. And this is the Rathskeller. Now, am I going to have the best portfolio, the same as the guys that, you know, took architecture undergrad or have been thinking about this longer than 3 weeks? No, I'm not going to have the best portfolio, but my goal is at least to get something so that I'm eligible and I can give it a shot. So the takeaway here is by setting that constraint, you have 3 weeks to apply. It has propelled me to act quickly and use that as leverage to get the work done that I need to get done. So set constraints and find leverage. That's step 2. The final step is you actually have to ship your project. You actually have to do it. You actually have to execute. It seems obvious, and yet it's the hardest thing. It's really scarce. And what stops us? What prevents us from doing the work that we want to do, that we're meant to do? It's this guy. This is a lizard. He is a lizard brain, and we all have lizard brains. The lizard brain is that primitive part of your brain at the root of your brain stem, and he's scared, he's hungry, and he's horny. That's all the lizard brain thinks about. Very basic survival instincts. Survive and reproduce. The lizard brain is going to tell you about your project. You're too young, you're too inexperienced, there's too much competition, you already missed the window. A lot of little devil's advocate motives that are going to push you back and keep you from shipping. So how do we quiet the lizard brain? Well, the first step is to start writing your plan down. And key to that, I think, is what is good enough? Not perfect, because it's easy to design the business plan that's, well, if all these factors go our way, we'll be millionaires, but what do you need to achieve to get something out the door that you're proud of that will make a positive impact in some way, even if it's not successful? What is good enough? What does that look like? Step 2, write what failure looks like. You have to define exactly what are the worst case scenario for your project or idea. So for my issue, what is good enough? Getting a portfolio of work, getting 3 letters of recommendation, hitting enter and sending the thing off to the Southern California Institute of Architects, which is one of the few schools that has not closed their window. What does failure look like? I don't get accepted, but I'll be better prepared for the next cycle to apply. So it's really just would be laziness or, that old lizard brain talking that would prevent me from doing that. So all these steps are about what do you do with an idea? They're in your notebook, they're in your head. You've been mulling on it for some time. What do you do with it? And I just want to conclude with, this is a very special group of people. I've seen a lot of creativity and a lot of ambition. And I think sometimes we set a box around what we're capable of. So my challenge for you is you not only have the opportunity to do something with your idea, you have an obligation to do it. The world needs your art. They need your gift. Please share it with us. Thank you.
Okay, thanks to both of our speakers. That was a great way to kick off this monthly meeting. I thought we learned some valuable things about getting involved and giving back, using our talents and our resources, but at the same time, how do we take those and capitalize on them from Kevin and get moving? So I'll hit a few of our upcoming events, and we'll also hit those as we do a few director updates, but we have the Excel workshop next week. Just kidding, it's tomorrow. We've got a lot of birthdays there on here too. Nonprofit consulting workshop is going to be a killer thing with some great perks, and Connor sent an email about that tonight, but he'll address it here in a little bit. And Parents Weekend at the end of April, and then a few BLMs right off at the beginning of next month. So those are on here as well. Couples night, you won't see me there. AJ's Earth Day get together. He's going to pitch later. You'll see me there. We're going to get right into the Orphellow of the Month. They made a pact early on to safely deliver an amazing retreat with a single click. They've been awesome, true ambassadors of greatness. She has been fabulously phenomenal, focused, and forward-looking while planning our fun. Her drive for the fellowship is so apparent, and she has to get up and go, as much get up and go as a 400 horsepower sports car. All of this great work will probably get her on another Marian University publication if she's not on all of them already. Her positive can-do attitude and bright smile is ensuring we tackle any challenge seamlessly. You know. We have 2 this month. She has been doing a fantastic job recently planning retreat in the road. She has really been Cura motivated and blazing through a bar crawl, retreat planning, and a second-year send-off. She raised the bar for the fellowship and then crawled right through it. Her passion for the fellowship shines so bright I have to wear sunglasses when I'm around her. She does a great job motivating other fellows to get involved. Hashtag Motorari 2016, the Orphellows of the Month.
And in celebration of Orphellows of the Month, we're going to bring back the tradition of getting a 6-pack of their choice for the Fellowship of the Month. So Molly and Amber will be connecting with you to get your choice.
Real quick, we're going to do a few director check-ins. A few of us have things going on, big things coming up soon. And we just want to get those on your radar. I think we're going to try to bounce through these at most of the monthly meetings, using it just time for updates in addition to the big kind of here's an event coming up update at the end. So on my radar, under Chief of Staff, we're working on reevaluating some of the Or Fellowship commitment standards, documents. We're going to revisit those next month. A lot of the things under me we're going to kind of work on and have a kind of all work together session next month because it's going to be our class. So in terms of what we decide on with technology, moving forward, how we're going to do attendance, how we're going to expect commitments out of fellows, is all going to kind of move forward starting next month. So also, I've had some talks with some various groups in terms of an overall fellowship strategy and how we measure our events based off of that. So let's have a set strategy that is streamlined with recruitment, with marketing, with Chief of Staff and how we plan things. That way everything makes sense and we're planning and setting up events that follow our mission and everything kind of rolls up back to that why. There's been some question, in the past, are we truly a social organization? Is that a big part of what we are as a group? I think yes, but let's actually map that and understand why we're doing everything. So that's about all I have going on. You'll hear some more from me when we do this rotation here. So Connor, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, as Trevor mentioned, tomorrow at Angie's List is the Excel workshop. Sure. As Trevor mentioned, tomorrow at Angie's List is the Excel workshop. It's going to be from 6 to 8 with JD, who's a senior business analyst at IU Health. He has a lot of experience with Excel. It's kind of a beginner to intermediate level workshop based on the survey results that we got from you guys. So, and if there's a lot of success with that, we'll plan maybe a more advanced one in the future, which is something that more advanced people could look at as well. We'll be going over things like V&H lookup, parsing data, and then also charts, pivot tables, things like that. So yeah, that's tomorrow at 6 at Angie's List. Also, we have the nonprofit consulting workshop. I just maybe an hour or so ago sent out Bill's calendar invite on that. It is going to be pretty cool. 2 people who have started companies centered entirely around nonprofits. One is a consulting company, which is what our engagements are, nonprofit consulting. And then the other one has created a CRM basically for nonprofits. There's going to be food. It's going to be a huge event. And these guys have both been so successful in the indie community. It'll actually be at Launchcase, which is a kind of an area that one of them started. It's on the 2nd floor of his company. And it's basically a speakeasy for nonprofit startups, for people who need that incubator space to get off the ground. So that's going to be pretty cool. Other than that, we have a couple BLMs coming up. Tanner, I'm going to let you speak to those if you wanted to really quickly.
Sure.
And other than that, yeah.
Yeah, so the first one we're going to be having, assuming everything stays as planned currently, is May 2nd. I believe that is a Monday. Correct? Where's that? Where's Monday? And correct me if I'm wrong. One has been my little calendar check, which is great. So May 2nd, that's going to be at the State House downtown. Lunch will be provided for that. Come with any and all questions that you have for Governor Pence. That should be a really, really good experience, I think, for all of us as you go from there. Then the second one is it's at High Alpha, and I believe that's May 12th. The dates. I'll have to double check on that and get back. That's going to be at High Alpha. That's essentially going to be with the members of the board of directors. We've kind of opened that up to all of them. So it's going to be kind of part send off for us as second years, with also an opportunity to kind of hear a little bit from the board of directors as well. And we will be providing, I believe, snacks and stuff like that. So, and the only other thing, Mr. Lovers will be assuming my role moving forward, so give him as much grief as you gave me. Question.
Are we going to be supplying a list of questions to the board ahead of time, or
Yeah, so.
do they have an agenda, or?
Yeah, so what I was thinking was, essentially, it's gonna be difficult. What we were trying to do initially was split it into 2 different BLMs with the board of directors, but with Governor Pence kind of coming into the schedule, out of nowhere to a degree. We ended up kind of combining them, so I'm going to try and limit as much as possible with the members of the board of directors. We know some tend to be a little more verbose than others, and so we will try and get, I think, some targeted questions for each of the board members that are attending. So when I send that out, if you have questions, or maybe I'll do a little bit digging even into each of their experiences. Obviously, Christine's going to be a little more apt to answer questions about her life in terms of getting a degree in law, and then obviously some of the other board members would have other experiences that would be kind of unique and interesting to hear from. But that could also be, my class long ago had a complaint about having kind of that exposure to the board, having the opportunity to converse with them as a group. Hopefully that should be a really good opportunity for us as current fellows students, and for especially the first upcoming second years to have any questions that you have about the future of the fellowship, where we're heading, maybe think about some of those, and we'll get a running list of those together that maybe we can go through and have all of them answered. Jen? Yeah.
I was wondering if there could be built-in time just to kind of mingle with them.
Yeah.
I know we don't ever really get a chance to talk to a lot of them, so I thought that might be a good chance to introduce.
Yeah, and that's honestly what I was hoping, I think, with the recent change, that it would be for the most part more kind of mix and mingle, kind of a more casual feeling, send off, and that would still kind of have some time, as Karen said, that would be structured, that put together, that we would have, and all kind of sit as a panel and ask questions. So, any other questions? And then for the current first years, soon to be second years, June will be no BO.
Okay, thank you. Austin? Give it in.
I'll take your time in August.
Sam?
Yeah, Brandon's just being very patient with me as I continue to learn, so yeah. I'm going to plan to give a quarterly update on the budget for each director at the monthly meeting when it's the quarter, and that's my main update at this point. If you have any specific questions, you can always reach out.
Dylan?
Yeah, I'll really quickly introduce some key players on my team this year. Jake is going to be leading up kind of everything social, so that's going to be great. Molly is going to be leading in retreats and also kind of co-leading with our end retreat, which formerly known as Capstone Experience, but moving away from that, which Haley is going to be leading up, and super excited about that. Amber is going to be working with Molly on our retreats and also kind of leading our alumni initiatives. And Sarah is going to be our mentorship family mother, for lack of a better word. And so, thanks a lot to Greg and Nicole for helping out with Parents Weekend. Thanks to Brooke for raising her hand to lead boat trip. So excited about some other events coming up. And we'll get into a little bit more on the social front here with Jake in a minute once we get into the rotations. But other than that, just looking forward to trying to get everyone involved as much as possible. So if you have any recommendations, any questions for me, any ways that we can improve this upcoming year, I'm looking forward to hearing about that. And I see a question over
Yeah, sorry. What is like the alumni role mixed with another role?
Yeah, so they're separate roles. She's just doing both.
Okay.
But she's really going to be driving kind of everything alumni as far as how do we incorporate alumni into more frequent events.
Yeah.
How do we engage them in ways that they want to be engaged in? There's some talks about getting them involved in, different components from mentorship families to just more frequent interactions kind of on a regular basis, potentially having some opens at the monthly meetings, things like that. So I know that our second years are going to be extremely involved once they graduate, and we're looking forward to keeping that momentum together.
I know the March Hill event was like the alumni event, and I've heard that that's not going to be a thing anymore. So will we have an alumni event or no?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Mark Hill indicated at the end of last year that's going to be last year at his house, but we're still going to continue the event and just find a different location for it.
I would say I know some alums probably aren't even staying in Indy, so maybe finding ways to engage alums that aren't in the city but would want to give back or talk to people in the industry, things like that would be maybe a thought.
Awesome, yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Tom.
And one last thing, for now, I'm going to be acting kind of as the work disengagement person. Like if you're feeling, unfulfilled at work or you have any problems or anything like that, I'm kind of going to serve as the first line of defense. And from there, through conversations, kind of figure out what the correct mode of action is best to escalate to Karen and get host companies involved if it's something that can be resolved internally or something like that. So again, feel free to reach out about that if you're having any sort of issues or things that you want to kind of get some advice on at work or whatever that looks like. So thanks.
Eric.
Nope, I'll just bug you guys during the rotation.
So, just talk a little bit more about the Innovators Project. The word Project Engage Indy is kind of like dead in the vocabulary because that was kind of like that total initiative, but we're sticking with the Innovators Project, which is where we're going to schools and doing this type of thing. So we have our dates nailed down. They're kind of split up. The weeks are split up, so May 11th and 12th, and then it was a Thursday, Friday, and then 16th through the 18th, we're going to the Center for Inquiry, and then May 31st, and then June 1st through the 3rd, we're going to George Washington Carver. And so a lot of people reached out. I think there was like 15 or so that reached out saying they would be welcome to volunteer, which is awesome. We will take more people want to come. We're sending out a survey for you to fill out when you're available for those days. We're also planning a training session so you can get acclimated to the content. You can get kind of learn how to work with these kids more in a better way since it is kind of something that's probably outside of your comfort zone. So look out for emails on those. Another cool thing is Carolyn and I met with Jamie Everett, who works for Park Tutor, and she runs a summer camp called the Innovators Institute. And it's kind of basically what we're doing, but like over a 3-week period of time. And so our plan, hopefully, is to provide these students who are 8th graders becoming 9th graders with a scholarship to go to the Innovators Institute. And the program is $1,200. And so these kids more than likely probably wouldn't be able to afford this. And it's very prestigious, and they're totally on board with working with us. So that's another really cool way that we're able to impact these students and things like that. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to volunteer, let me know. If you want to become a bigger part of this, let me know. It's kind of crunch time now, so we're going to be hitting this hard. So any and all help's appreciated. So let me know if you have any questions.
Maybe soon we can communicate overall to everyone just a greater timeline for that too, because it was firmed up kind of as Aaron's transitioning out, and some people have seen it that have been heavily involved with it, but some people don't know where we pivoted and what we're changing in terms of this whole timeline of the rollout. So I think we can communicate that via email. It's just best done via PowerPoint, but thanks for the update. So we're going to break out real quick. We're going to obviously compact this a little bit into what, based on what I originally intended, but we're going to take about 15 minutes here, about 5 minutes in each spot. We're going to rotate through a technology discussion, a strategy, branding, and recruitment discussion that all kind of focus in the same area, and then social involvement and organization. So we're just going to take, the technology is going to be right here in this front group. If we could just kind of gather closer using the PowerPoint, because I have a quick few slides. Social can be over here if you guys would just kind of gather in that back corner. And then the strategy, branding, and recruitment can just kind of gather over there. It might get kind of loud, but the separate directors and people involved are going to run us through just a quick discussion. We want to get feedback, and I want everyone to be able to give feedback in each area. And I think smaller groups are a little better way to do that than just one big organized discussion. So if this group just wants to kind of come up and start with me, we're going to take 5 minutes, and then I'll tell everyone when to rotate. So.
Do we like, are we going to hit everybody? Like, can we stay?